Have you ever wondered why women often find themselves juggling a multitude of tasks and responsibilities both at home and in the workplace? Why is it that women seem to be burdened with an invisible load that is attached to the roles traditionally assigned to them? This episode aims to shed light on the concept of the mental load carried by women and how it differs from their male counterparts. We'll explore the various components of this issue, including its historical roots, its impact on women's lives, and the urgent need for change in societal norms. If you are new to the Women Taking the Lead podcast, hello and welcome. I'm Jody Flynn. I'm the CEO and founder of Women Taking the Lead. It's a leadership development company that works with individuals, organizations, and boards to close the performance gap by attracting, developing, and successfully promoting more women into senior levels of leadership. My goal is for this podcast to be a valuable resource for you and others in your organization to develop in your leadership. You will find a blending of topical episodes, on-air coaching episodes, and case studies of organizations succeeding in their gender parity initiatives. If we are not already connected on LinkedIn, please send me an invitation to connect. You can find me directly at linkedin.com/in/Jody Flynn, or you can search on the platform for Jody Flynn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, so I should be at or near the top of the search results. Be sure to add a note to the invitation letting me know you're a listener of the podcast. I would love to connect with you and get to know you better. The term mental load refers to the invisible and often unacknowledged responsibilities and tasks that individuals, typically women, carry with them wherever they go. These responsibilities extend beyond their formal roles at work and encompass various facets of life, primarily related to household and family management, but not isolated there as well. Some of those household management tasks, they're in the office as well. The mental load includes, but is not limited to, planning, organizing, remembering, and anticipating a myriad of tasks such as grocery shopping, meal planning, childcare, doctor's appointments, and household chores. To understand the mental load women carry today, let's quickly remind ourselves of the historical context. Traditional gender roles have deep roots in society dating back centuries. In many cultures, women were designated as the primary caregivers responsible for managing the home and nurturing the family. Over the last 2,000 years especially, these roles have become rigid. There was a time when women and men did equally share responsibilities for providing, taking care of each other, all of that. But as we've become more structured and industrialized, women have more and more been pushed into these roles, whether or not they wanted them. While societal norms have evolved, the remnants of these roles persist, often subtly perpetuating the mental load disparity. Despite significant progress in women's rights and gender equality, women continue to shoulder a disproportionate mental load, even as they participate in the workforce. This lingering disparity is a product of deeply ingrained stereotypes and expectations that have yet to be fully dismantled. We see this in a lot of gender studies with each new generation, that the sharing of the mental load and the domestic load is starting to become more equal, but it also reinforces that there is still a disparity, and it largely is falling on women. One of the key aspects of the mental load is its invisibility. These responsibilities are not always explicitly stated or acknowledged. They are the unsung tasks that women carry silently, from mentally planning the week's meals to coordinating children's extracurricular activities to keeping an eye on who in the office might be needing a little morale boost or what event needs to be planned next. While these tasks may seem mundane, they require significant cognitive and emotional energy, leaving women with less mental bandwidth for their own professional and personal development. One of the striking differences between the mental load women carry and their male counterparts is the expectation of a double shift. Women are often expected to excel in their careers while simultaneously fulfilling their roles as primary caregivers and homemakers. This double shift imposes a considerable mental and emotional burden on women, leaving them with less time for self-care and personal pursuits. In contrast, men typically face fewer expectations when it comes to household and family responsibilities. While the division of labor has improved in some households, my dad was one of them. My dad did a lot of housework when we were growing up. Of course, my parents had 8 kids, so that was going to have to happen. Research suggests that women still spend more time on unpaid domestic work and childcare, even when both partners are employed full-time. And this increases as women rise in the level of leadership. What they're showing is that women at the executive level are still doing those household chores, whereas men at the executive level, either their wives stay home or they hire a housekeeper. So the disparity, as you look at different leadership levels, there's an increasing disparity between women and men as you get to those higher levels of leadership, which is just fascinating. And the pandemic completely pulled back the curtain on this phenomenon as we saw millions of women leave the workforce to take care of children and aging relatives while their husbands remained employed. The mental load that women carry can take a significant toll on their emotional well-being as well. The constant juggling of tasks and responsibilities, coupled with societal pressures to excel in both their professional and personal lives, can lead to stress, burnout, and feelings of inadequacy. Women may find themselves constantly striving to meet unrealistic standards, both at work and at home, which can lead to anxiety and decreased overall life satisfaction. This invisible mental load also has a significant impact on their career advancement, as women invest substantial mental and emotional energy in managing their households and families, as well as the workplace morale and DEI efforts, which are largely unrecognized and not tied to performance reviews or pay increases. They often have less time and mental space to focus on their careers. This disparity is reflected in the gender pay gap, underrepresentation of women in leadership roles, and the motherhood penalty, the phenomenon where women's career prospects suffer after having children. Okay, this is all feeling dire, and I'm going to get into some things that we can do to start making changes, right? To lighten this burden and this load that women largely are carrying. First, I'm going to talk about the positive intelligence saboteur assessment, because I think if we take a step back and look at what could get in our way from taking these steps and these actions, that's important to address at the head. So mental fitness is your capacity to respond to life's challenges with a positive rather than a negative mindset. What diminishes your mental fitness is internal saboteurs. Saboteurs are the voices in your head that generate negative emotions in the way you handle life's everyday challenges. They represent automated patterns in your mind for how to think, feel, and respond. They cause all of your stress, anxiety, self-doubt, frustration, restlessness, and unhappiness. There are 10 different saboteurs, but not everyone is impacted by the same ones. There's a combination of 2 to 4 saboteurs that are likely more familiar to you. Are you curious to know which saboteurs are impacting your performance, your wellness, and relationships, and how they do so? To take the saboteur assessment, go to positiveintelligence.com/saboteurs. You can also find the link in the episode description right in your podcast app. Just scroll down and you'll find a set of links there, and the Saboteur Assessment is one of them. You can also reach out to me for an insight session if you'd like to dive deeper into your results. Okay. Addressing the mental load disparity is crucial for achieving gender equality in both the workplace and society at large. To encourage change, we must take several important steps. And the first two are tied together, but you'll see how the first one's crucial. Recognition and communication. The first step in addressing the invisible mental load is acknowledging its existence. Open and honest communication between partners is essential. Couples should have candid discussions about the distribution of responsibility and work towards a more equitable arrangement. If you don't know where to begin, I recommend reading the book Drop the Ball by Tiffany Dufu. And this book is also relevant to step number 2, which is shared responsibilities. Right? To alleviate the mental load imbalance, both partners should actively participate in household and family management. This includes everything from cooking and cleaning to childcare and scheduling appointments, right? So the first step is just recognizing it, seeing it in all its glory, and talking about it. The second step is then taking action to make the home assignments, the chores and tasks, more equitable. And in Drop the Ball by Tiffany Dufu, why I really appreciate this book is she also goes into it's not just the time expenditure that you want to consider with all of these tasks. It's the mental and emotional expenditure for certain tasks as well. So that's important. The third step is creating supportive workplaces. Employers can play a significant role in reducing the mental load on women by offering flexible work arrangements, paid family leave, and on-site childcare facilities. These initiatives can help women balance their professional and personal responsibilities more effectively. If your company is not providing these benefits, advocate for them, but don't go it alone. Get allies, gain sponsors, and make the case that these changes benefit everyone, because these changes do benefit everyone. It's also important to get the perspectives of different employees in your organization, because I listed 3 things that could create a more supportive workplace, but every organization is different, and there might be some things within your organization that are unique to you and your employees. And those ideas will come from the collective. The fourth step is a cultural shift. Society at large must undergo a cultural shift to challenge traditional gender roles and expectations. This involves dismantling stereotypes that perpetuate the mental load disparity and celebrating diverse family structures and caregiving arrangements. If you know couples who live in a way that challenges gender stereotypes, acknowledge them, celebrate them, and learn from them. The fifth step, self-care and boundaries. Women must prioritize self-care and establish boundaries to protect their mental and emotional well-being. It's essential to recognize that it's okay to ask for help and take breaks when needed. Notice how this step is last. If you have a fantastic self-care routine, but the first 4 steps are not being addressed, all you'll be doing is propping yourself up over and over and over again to function in a dysfunctional environment, and eventually you can't keep up with it. So self-care and boundaries are important, but they're not the first step and they are not the only step. To sum it all up, the mental load that women carry is a multifaceted issue deeply rooted in historical gender norms and kept in place by societal expectations. This invisible burden affects women's lives on multiple fronts, from their emotional well-being to their career advancement. Addressing the mental load disparity requires recognition, communication, and a concerted effort from individuals, families, workplaces, and society as a whole. As we move forward, it's crucial to remember that achieving gender equality is not solely a women's issue, but a societal one. By sharing the mental load equitably, we can create a more balanced and inclusive world where women are free to pursue their aspirations without the weight of invisible responsibilities holding them back. And men can experience the full range of responsibilities and benefits of being a supportive partner, parent, and ally. Working together, we can create a more equitable future for everyone. I truly believe this and live by it. Thank you so much for listening to Women Taking the Lead. If you are not yet subscribed to the podcast, hit the follow or subscribe button so you don't miss out on the upcoming episodes. And if you know of other women and men who can benefit from this episode, please share it with them. Most new discoveries come from our friends, family, and colleagues. Be that person for others. And as always, I hope this was of value to you, and here's to your success.